In this episode, we will review the fastest 28mm lens I ever tested. This Chinese lens is sold around $500 right now on Amazon. And for a full-frame M mount, the direct equivalent would be the German-made Leica Summilux 28mm f1.4. That is sold right now for a skyrocketing $6,000. Yeah, I know. Because it's a wide-angle lens, if you stay too far away from your subject, the background bokeh will not be very interesting. But by coming closer, you can start to see a small but interesting swirly bokeh. At f1.4, the lens is a perfect fit for portraits. It's a great focal length for dynamic portraits. And with an augmented depth of field, you can play with the levels of the image. The colors are an exact reproduction of what you see with your eyes, and that's great for portraits and street photography. Some vintage lenses can really shift the colors of your image, but this one has a perfect color rendition. The lens is extremely sharp at f2.8, so that's a great lens for landscapes and details. Even at f1.4, the lens is still very sharp in low light conditions. I know I'm French, but I didn't eat that snail just after shooting the video. The lens itself is not a macro lens, and the minimum focus distance is 70 centimeters. Because it's an M mount, I was able to plug it in a macro stretcher adapter and connect it to my Sony full-frame camera. Now, by using the adapter ring, I can transform the lens into a macro lens. and get some amazing details. If I had to pick the best way to use this lens, it would be in low-light environmental video. Even in this underground city, with a very small amount of artificial light, I recorded everything without raising the ISOs. And after walking 2 kilometers underground, I never felt limited by the lens. So, should you buy this lens or the $6,000 competitor? So I already hear people saying I didn't actually tested the Leica lens. But for me, spending this amount of money on a lens is ridiculous. You could actually buy 3 full-frame cameras with that amount of money. Whatever the price of a lens is, it doesn't make you a good photographer. It's just a tool. This Chinese lens was more than what I was expecting. And the photos and videos I shot with it were very interesting. If you have the money and the desire to spend $6,000 on a lens, be my guest. But for all the other people on the planet who want a great 28mm f1.4 full-frame lens, this is the best choice right now. If you want to discover many other weird lenses, visit the Weird Lens Museum for free right now.